Level 1, the phone call. You're sitting in a coffee shop when your phone rings. Unknown number. You almost don't answer, but something makes you pick up. The voice on the other end is calm, measured, asking if you're interested in crisis negotiation work. You assume it's a sales call until they mention your psychology degree, your military service, your work in social services. They've been watching. 3 weeks later, you're in a classroom at the FBI Academy in Quantico. There are 12 of you, former cops, psychologists, military interrogators, social workers who've talked people off ledges. The instructor is a man named Harold, who negotiated the release of hostages in 7 countries you're not allowed to name. He starts with a question. What's the goal of hostage negotiation? Someone says save the hostages. Someone else says catch the bad guy. Harold shakes his head. The goal is time. Everything else flows from that. You spend 40 hours learning the fundamentals. Active listening, which isn't listening at all. It's performing listening so well the other person feels heard. Mirroring, repeating the last few words someone said to keep them talking. Labeling emotions without judgment. It sounds like you're angry. It seems like you feel trapped. Minimal encouragers, those small sounds that tell someone to continue without interrupting their flow. The training feels artificial. You're practicing on classmates who are pretending to be suicidal or violent or desperate. Everyone knows it's fake. The stakes are imaginary. Then they play you recordings from real calls. A man holding his family at gunpoint because his wife asked for a divorce. A woman on a bridge threatening to jump because her daughter died and she can't survive the grief. A teenager who barricaded himself in a school bathroom with a knife and a manifesto about bullying that nobody read until it was too late. The voices sound nothing like your classmates. There's a rawness that can't be faked. You hear the negotiators working, applying the techniques you just learned. Some calls end well, some don't. They play you one that ends with a gunshot and a dial tone. Nobody says anything afterward. You graduate and return to your field office. Negotiation is a collateral duty. You still work regular cases, white-collar crime mostly, but now you're on the crisis negotiation team. You carry a pager that might never go off or might go off tomorrow. 6 months pass before it does. Level 2, the barricade. The call comes at 2 in the morning. Domestic situation turned violent. Husband barricaded inside with his wife and 2 kids. He's got a shotgun and he's been drinking, and neighbors heard screaming. You arrive to find the street blocked off. SWAT setting up positions, lights turning the neighborhood into a stage. The incident commander briefs you quickly. Husband's name is Marcus, 34 years old. Lost his job 3 weeks ago. Wife was leaving him, taking the kids to her mother's. He snapped. You're handed a phone connected to the landline inside the house. Your hands are shaking slightly as you dial. He answers on the 4th ring. His voice is thick, slurred. You can hear crying in the background. Children? Your training kicks in automatically. You introduce yourself. First name only, never your rank or title. You ask if everyone's okay. He says they're fine. You hear someone whimpering. That doesn't sound fine, you think, but you don't say it. Instead, you mirror. They're fine. He starts talking about his job, about his wife, about how everything fell apart. You listen, not just quiet, but active. You label his emotions. That sounds frustrating. It seems like you're overwhelmed. You validate without agreeing. I can hear that you're in pain. 40 minutes pass, then an hour. SWAT is getting restless. The commander wants resolution. You keep Marcus talking. He's drinking while you talk, you can hear it. His words are getting looser, less guarded. He mentions his kids' names. That's progress. People who are about to hurt their children don't usually say their names out loud. 2 hours in, he asks what happens if he comes out. You don't make promises you can't keep. That's rule 1. You tell him the truth. He'll be arrested, but his family will be safe. His kids will be okay. You can hear him crying now, not angry crying. Something else. You stay quiet. Let him process. Finally, he asks you to promise his kids won't see him in handcuffs. You can't promise that either, but you say you'll do everything you can. Another 20 minutes of silence and talking, and silence again. Then you hear the door unlock. He comes out with his hands up. The kids are crying, but unhurt. The wife has bruises forming, but she's walking. SWAT moves in, and it's over. You're shaking when you put the phone down. The commander claps you on the shoulder. Good work. You threw up in a gas station bathroom on the way home, but nobody needs to know that. Level 3, the jumper. You're better now. 6 calls under your belt, 5 successful resolutions. You've learned that every situation follows patterns, but feels unique. The suicidal ones are different from the violent ones. Different rhythm, different language. This one's on a bridge at dawn. Woman in her 20s standing on the wrong side of the railing. Traffic stopped in both directions. Officers keeping everyone back. You walk up slowly. Not too close. 10 feet is the magic distance. Close enough to talk, far enough not to threaten. Her name is Sarah. She's been up there for 40 minutes already. First responders tried talking to her, but she told them to leave or she'd jump. So they called you. You don't ask why she's up there, that's amateur hour. Instead, you comment on the cold. It's freezing up there, you say. She laughs. Bitter sound. Says she can't feel anything anyway. Progress. She's talking. You learn she's a nurse, working doubles at the hospital. Her boyfriend left last month. Her mom died last year. She's got student loans she'll never pay off and an apartment she's about to lose. It's not one thing. It's everything. The weight of it. She's just tired. You get that. You tell her you get that. You don't say it gets better because that's a lie people tell. Instead, you ask what she does at the hospital. Which department? Pediatrics. She works with kids. You mention that takes a special kind of person. She shrugs. Says she's good at it. The kids like her. She does voices when she gives them shots. Makes them laugh. Who does the voices if she's not there tomorrow, you ask? It's manipulative and you know it. But you're running out of time. Her legs are shaking. Could be cold. Could be something else. She starts crying. Says the kids will be fine. Someone else will do the voices. Everyone's replaceable. You tell her that's not true. You tell her about your daughter. She's 7. She was in the hospital last year. Appendix. The nurse who took care of her did voices too. Made the whole thing less scary. Your daughter still talks about her. This part is true. All of it. Sarah looks at you for the first time. Really looks. You ask if you can come closer. Just a little. Your neck is starting to hurt looking up at her. She nods. You move 5 feet closer. Now you're close enough to see her face clearly. She's exhausted. The kind of tired that sleep won't fix. You talk for another hour. About nothing and everything. Her childhood. Her patients. The cat she adopted from a shelter. You learn she's funny when she's not standing on a bridge contemplating death. Sharp wit. Self-deprecating humor. Eventually you extend your hand. Not grabbing. Just offering. She takes it. SWAT moves in fast once she's over the railing. They wrap her in a blanket. Ambulance takes her to the hospital. Psychiatric hold. Mandatory 72 hours. You find out later she got help. Real help. Therapy, medication, support group. She went back to work after 3 months. Still doing voices for the kids. You don't take credit for that. You were just the person who showed up. Level 4, the school. Active shooter situation, high school. 15-year-old kid with his dad's handgun, already fired twice. No one hit yet, but that's luck, not intention. This is different, faster, more variables. You're inside the building now. SWAT has the perimeter. You're in the hallway with a phone trying to establish contact. He answers. Voice high. Scared. Angry. Hard to separate the two. His name is Tyler. He's been bullied for 2 years. Every day. Relentless. Teachers didn't stop it. Parents didn't believe him. So he brought the gun to make it stop. You're not validating. You're not condemning. You're just listening while trying to figure out if he's actually going to shoot someone or if this is a cry for help that went too far. 20 minutes in, you hear sirens outside. He hears them too. Panics. Says they're going to kill him. You tell him that's not true. You tell him if he puts the gun down and comes out, he lives. That's not negotiable. That's fact. He's crying now. Says his life is over anyway. 15 years old, and he thinks his life is over. You tell him about trajectories, how nothing is fixed, how 15 feels like forever, but it's not. How you were miserable at 15 too. Different reasons, same feeling. You're running out of time. You can hear SWAT getting ready to move. If he doesn't come out soon, they're coming in. You ask him what he wants to be when he grows up. Random question. He stops crying. Says he wants to design video games. You tell him he can't do that from prison. He can't do that dead. But if he walks out right now, that future still exists. Narrow and difficult and requiring work he can't imagine yet, but possible. He puts the gun down. You hear it hit the floor. He walks out with his hands up. Level 5, the expert. 15 years in. You've talked down hundreds now. You train other negotiators. You write protocols. You testify as an expert witness. But you still remember every face, every voice, the ones you saved and the 3 you didn't. People ask if it gets easier. You tell them no. You tell them it gets familiar. The fear becomes something you recognize and file away. The stakes remain the same. Some nights you can't sleep. You replay conversations, different words, better approaches, wondering if the 3 would still be alive if you'd said something else. Your wife understands. She's a dispatcher. She gets it. You carry a pager that might go off tomorrow, and if it does, you'll answer. Because someone has to stand in the gap between a person and the worst decision they'll ever make. Might as well be someone who knows what they're doing. You retire eventually. The pager goes to someone younger, someone who still believes they can save everyone. You know better now. You know that time is the only goal. That some people were always going to make their choice regardless of what you said. That your words bought minutes or hours or sometimes years, but never certainty. The voices stay with you. All of them. The ones who lived and the ones who didn't. You carry them differently now. Not as weight, but as proof that you stood in the gap when it mattered.